On this week's episode of Don't Give a Bit, we got some news to talk about. Skate 4 being announced, Pokemon Snap making a comeback, and Apex Legends getting crossplay. All that and more. Stay tuned. What is going on, guys? I am Deshaun over at Don't Give a Bit, where we talk about the news you need to know about, the games you give a damn about, all while building a community that you truly care about. Now, we know this week would have been E3 week, which means we would have been watching the showcases, getting a lot of announcements, but COVID came and ruined all of that. So instead, a lot of the publishers and developers are dropping a lot of news online, which is why this week has been such a crazy week. But before we get into any of that, we got to start off with our first segment, Pop Quiz Hot Shot. Now, of course, Pop Quiz Hot Shot is where I read you a pop quiz question, you put your answer right down below in the comments section, and I reveal that answer at the end of the show. So, today's question is, in the English version of 1999's Nintendo 64's classic, Pokemon Snap, what was the name of the player-controlled protagonist? A. Todd Snap, B. Chase Click, C. Andy Appariture, or D. Kyle Capture? If you know your answers, go ahead and put that down in the comments below. Now that you got those answers nice and locked in, we can move right into our second segment, Plays of the Game. Now this week we have a new submission from Legendary Lime over on YouTube, and you can go ahead and check that out. I'll put the link down below. But this is what he submitted for this week. Now, like I've said before, dominating the game ain't easy, but if you make it look like it is, go ahead and reach out to me, submit your clips. I want to showcase them. I want to link back to your channel. I want the community to grow. I want everybody to notice everyone. So now let's go ahead and get right into our news segment with the week back recap. Now, like I was saying before, this week would have been the week of E3, so we would have seen all these showcases plastered up on the E3 screen, the streams, and all that good stuff, but COVID came in and just demolished all that. So now we're relying on a lot of the publishers, developers to release their stuff directly to us and to YouTube, which is why this week's been so crazy. Everybody's dropping everything. So let's start right at the top with Pokemon Snap. All right, Pokemon Snap is making a comeback after 21 years. 1999 is the original release date for the original Pokemon Snap on the 64. Well, now we know that a new one is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now the question is this game going to showcase a lot more Pokemon than the original did? If you remember, this 1999 version only showcased 63 of the 151 available Pokemon at the time. But don't forget, that was when we were limited by hardware and a lot of the game software, etc., etc. Now we don't really have those limitations. So are we going to be able to see a lot more Pokemon, or are they still going to limit the scope? What is the gameplay loop going to be like? Is this going to be a game that you just sit down, relax, and it's just a time burner? Or is this going to be a little bit more immersive, a little bit more hands-on? That's just something that we'll have to wait and see. Right now, there's no release date. Nintendo hasn't really given too much information about it. They just showcased the trailer and just left the rest to our imagination. So fans craving more Pokemon will be very excited for this. Now, staying with nostalgia, let's go right into Crash Bandicoot. Getting a leak for Crash Bandicoot 4, It's About Time. No, that's literally the title of the game, It's About Time. Now, we knew Activision had some type of plans for Crash Bandicoot just simply because the remakes did so well. The Spyro Trilogy's been doing so well. They knew that they wanted to get their hands on another Crash, and so we expected to see Crash. Now, honestly, I was expecting to see Crash Bandicoot at the PlayStation 5 reveal event, but instead it looks like we're going to get it at the Summer Game Festival. Now, since this was a leak, we don't really have too many details. We'll just have to wait those couple days to actually see what the game's going to look like. We do know that it's developed by Toys for Bob, the same group that did the Spyro Reignited trilogy. So there's good news there. They also did the Skylanders, which not so good news there, but I have high hopes for it. Now, not quite done with nostalgia just yet. Moving past the Bandicoot into Skate 4. Skate 3 was an amazing game. Skate 2 was a loved game. Skate 1 was a revolutionary game, but now we're getting Skate 4 all because the fans wanted it. All right, so at EA Play, they announced that Skate 4 is coming. They didn't really announce too many things about it. They just said, hey, it's coming. We heard you. You are the reason why this game is into existence. So I thought that was a really cool thing, acknowledging that the fans made this happen. Not that money made it happen, not that it was a design choice by the developers, anything else like that. It was the fans that made this happen. Now with the Tony Hawk remake coming and Skate 4 coming, it looks like skating's making a huge comeback into the gaming space. Now that we're done with nostalgia, we are going to stick with EA for just a little bit longer. EA showed a new gameplay trailer of their Star Wars Squadrons. Now, Star Wars Squadron does seem to be a smaller scale game focused on 5v5 combat in both single player and multiplayer. Now, they did announce that there's going to be highly customizable pilots and ships while not having no microtransactions, with an October release date. Now a lot of this is important because EA is noticing that they saw success with Jedi Fallen Order, they knew what they did wrong with Battlefront, and they're correcting these issues in Squadrons. EA is trying to make a good Star Wars game for the fan. Now, the only thing that has me worried about this game is the fact that it's smaller in scale. I don't want this to be a rush job. For us to be getting an announcement now and getting a release in October shows that this game really is coming in fast. Either way though, it does look to be a fun game. I do like the fact that there's different roles on each team. You have the attack, you have the support class, you do have the bombing class. There's a lot of variety there, and there's multiple game modes. If you haven't gotten a chance yet, I do suggest you check out the entire gameplay trailer. It's a fun little trailer, and there's VR in this, which is pretty cool as well. Now this next story is a little bit of a bummer. Cyberpunk was delayed yet again. Now, the developers in a tweet did say that the reason for this delay was mainly for polish. The content's there, the quality's there, but they want to make sure that the game comes out to be another Witcher 3. I mean, we know the impact Witcher 3 has had, so they want to make sure that this Cyberpunk is doing the exact same thing. It's not that big of a deal. We do know that delayed games tend to be a better product overall, while a rush game usually leaves a bad impression for everyone. So wait a couple more months, we get our Cyberpunk. Now the question is this delay to coincide with the release of the new generation of consoles? We do know that the game will be backwards compatible for both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, so who knows? Now lastly, I wanted to move into Apex Legends getting a fall Switch release date as well as getting crossplay. I will beat the drum on crossplay every single time it comes up because I think it is one of the greatest things in gaming. A free-to-play game that's also crossplay against all consoles? Come on now, you can't ask for anything better than that. So that's all we have for Week Back Recap. Now I want to move into our next segment, When We Last Spoke. Now, of course, this segment is all about discussions, more in-depth discussions about how we feel about certain things. I would love to get other input and get other questions, and you can submit those right in the comments below or reach out to me directly. So this week's question actually comes from Reddit user Aladdin142. It's a bit of a long one, but it's a really good one, and I'll shorten it down just a little bit. So a bit of a weird discussion here, but I've got my first kid coming at the end of the year and it's making me reconsider my position as an exclusive PC gamer. Sure, I pull out the PS4 and Switch sometimes for exclusives, but if any game comes out that also has a PC version or even a delayed exclusive, I simply would never ever bother with the console version and would prefer to wait. Now though, the thought of chilling on the couch with my kid as they get older and including them in my gaming is becoming a lot more appealing to me. I don't know if you guys feel this, but being a PC gamer just feels very closed off. You're stuck hunched over a keyboard and mouse, and most of the times you have headphones on. So I was just wondering, is anyone else in a similar position to me, and couch gaming is more appealing to them than sitting at the desk, even though their hearts has always been in PC gaming? So I actually think that this is a fantastic question, mainly because I do have an Xbox One, I have a PlayStation 4, I have a Nintendo Switch, I also have a PC gaming setup, I also have a gaming laptop, I have everything, all right? Because I love video games. But what I've realized is that as I'm getting older, I find that hopping on the couch, sitting down and playing a game is just so much more relaxing. I love PC gaming, I've always been a PC gamer, I will constantly build a new PC, but there really is something closed off about throwing the headphones on, hunching over your keyboard, looking at a monitor. It just doesn't feel relaxing all the time. Sometimes it is your escape and there's nothing wrong with it. I love that. But I've started to realize that just sitting down on the couch, turning on the console, and just watching the TV with the game in your hand just makes it so much easier. People can hop in and out of the conversation. They can sit down with you and watch what you're doing. You can just pass off the controller. It just seems it's more family oriented. Great question, and I would love to hear your thoughts. How do you feel when it comes to PC gaming versus console gaming? Which one's more enjoyable to you? Which one's more relaxing for you? Put your comments below. I would love to hear them, and if you have any questions to submit, please put them down below as well. Now, before I go, I want to make sure that I give you the answer for today's pop quiz question. Now, if you said Todd Snap, you are absolutely correct. All the other ones are just names that I just put in there. But Todd Snap is the answer for today's pop quiz question. Make sure to stay tuned for next week, where we amp up the difficulty just a little bit more while staying relevant to the content spoken. So as always, I want to thank you so much for being part of the show. I do want to get more of you onto the show. I want to get more of your suggestions, your gameplay clips, everything, your segments. Please reach out to me. And if you haven't yet, be sure to follow me, subscribe, like the video, all that good stuff, so that we can keep you entertained for next week.